I'm just a poor lonely train heading down that road of woe. But there's no toll, no pain or danger in that land to where I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm only going
still. One, two.
I'm only going. I'm only going to see my father. I'm going away, no more. I'm only going over home. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Good morning. Well, we timed that pretty good. Well, the gadabouts are back in town. The Florida boys. Well, we're glad you're here. My name's Alan Stanley. And one thing that we always remember is that we are all friends here. So, welcome. We are all friends. We're going to sing this in a key that I know. How about now? We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We hold you in our hearts the way you are. we're going to welcome Reverend Joe.
Wow, that is eerily quiet. Good morning. I have to use a microphone today. Happy May. It's May. I haven't computed that yet, although my brain is telling me with my job that summer is only 3 weeks away. Oh, educators live on that. So good morning. How is everyone doing? Everybody? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, welcome here. We're letting more people in by the minute. Gorgeous sunny day here in St. George. I want to thank you for choosing to be with us this day, Mother's Day. We're going to do a little celebration for that later. We would like to take a moment and welcome anyone who's here for the first time. If you would, just if you don't mind raising your hand, we'd like to honor you. Hello and good morning. And if you'd like, could you share your name with everyone? My name is Mary. Mary, Rob. And I talked to you briefly. You said you're from Ivins, so when you heard about us through the grapevine, the spiritual grapevine. Well, I was walking by the labyrinth in Kayenta, and you guys were doing a solstice celebration. Yeah. I chatted with somebody and looked you up online, and we finally had a free weekend. Excellent. Well, thank you for choosing to be with us. And this is Rick. He has a small gift for you. So those are some older Science of Mind magazines, which kind of just give you a taste of our philosophy, and welcome to our community. And even if you're just stopping by, we appreciate that. And it takes some special people, volunteers, to help this show run. And I want to thank Anna for being a greeter today, and Diana for setting up shop as in the food and drink. Thank you very much. And Alan, and what's your name? Bill Smith, for taking care. We literally just got online, by the way, StreamYard. Apparently Mother's Day is just, are we on? We're still on, right? Okay. Like literally just got on. The traffic is on overflow, and it wouldn't let us even log in. So yay for everybody online. Hello. And Christy for doing our sound and helping me make this work. So did I miss anybody? I don't want to miss anybody. Who? Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Marina. Blessings, blessings, blessings. And why do I feel like I'm forgetting to do something? Ding, 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 ding. That's all I want to do. So, again, I'm Reverend Joe. I am grateful to be here. Oh, and I do want to give an extra shout out to Bill Smith, who stepped in pretty much last minute last week. In case you didn't hear, my best friend passed away unexpectedly last week. So I whipped out the credit card, took some flights back to Buffalo, New York, and celebrated his life. And it's been a very difficult process, but let me tell you what a blessing this community is. Because this community, this philosophy, this family is really what it's all about. So I want to thank each and every one of you. I received a beautiful bouquet of flowers from our compassionate care. And that's just another way that we like to do our in-reach, as we say, our inner community in-reach. And it's working. We're doing this very well. So thank you for being a part of it. And I'm going to turn it over to our announcements. Is that you, Sue? Okay, come on up, Sue.
Hi. No Zoom today. For those of you that are online, welcome, and we hope you can make it in person next time. May 24th is our next in-person meeting. Reverend Rachel will speak about communal uncertainty. Whoops. I and Bill are here today as your practitioners. We're in our practitioner strolls, and we would be happy to meet with you in prayer. This is our little prayer circle back here behind the room dividers for privacy. If you'd like a moment of prayer, we'd be happy to meet with you. And anytime you want to contact us online, just go to our website. Books, that's in the way. The books at the back table are for sale. We love you bringing in books to share and take some home. I read this morning that it's Wayne Dyer's birthday. And so I brought some Wayne Dyer books today, so check those out. It took a minute to decide whether I was going to pull those off the shelf, but I would love others to read and gain what I have from them. And next in-person meeting is my workshop, Awaken to the Mystical. Next week, we're going to talk about the clairs. Anybody know what the clairs are, what I'm talking about with the clairs? You can be clairvoyant and see things that are spiritual, that aren't everyday things to see. You can be clairaudient and receive messages in your spiritual ears. And so we're going to talk about those things, and I'm going to do some practicing with oracle cards and give some readings. So join us. It's going to be a really nice day and good sharing. Oh, and we changed the time to 12:45, so you can have a little bit more time on the snacks and the cleanup, and so stay around for 12:45. We have a core council member that wants to give this next announcement with this beautiful handout that you're going to get.
Thank you, Sue. I'm Tim, and I'm one of the newer members of Core Council. And you. And I think most of you are aware that we did a survey a month ago asking for input from our group as to what kind of things they like and what kind of things they'd like to see. And part of that was what I would call extracurricular activities. That is, not to do with the actual services per se, but rather we found that there was a lot of interest in maybe doing some social things. And so we pulled together a small list. This is a little hard to read, but I have handouts that I'll leave on the table. Please take one with you when you go. We came up with 4 different activities as samples. There was interest in going to concerts, lectures, that kind of thing. So we put in one at Kayenta that's happening on May 16th. It's a concert for cello and piano, and it's just of interest. If you're interested, you better get online quick because it's almost sold out. The concerts and lectures at Kayenta generally charge $35. That's their average. But that's one thing that we can look to in the future. If there's interest with people, we could go as a group. The second is an activity that happens in St. George every month. The Film and Media Alliance of Southern Utah puts on a free classic film festival on Tuesday nights at the Electric Theater. And we put this in because this is, I think, a very interesting film. This is the original In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger. And there are some TV series that follow with it. But this is the 1967 movie. And they'll have a film expert there to talk about it. It's Tuesday the 19th at 6 o'clock, and it's free. So that's something. We'll see if there's interest with our group of doing film kinds of things. And then the third thing we found is an invitation from Bet Chabarim, the Jewish community here in town. They just got back Torahs that have been refurbished, and they're doing a celebration service on Friday night, the 22nd of May. And I think we'll have some interest in going there. It would be nice to have CSL represented as part of the Interfaith Council of Churches. That event is also no cost. They do ask that you register with their website so they know a head count, because they're going to have a meal afterwards. And the last thing we found, which sounds really exciting, is what's called the Sacred Desert Sounds. It's a drum circle concert which is up in Snow Canyon Park in the White Rocks amphitheater. And they'll have crystal sound bowls, flutes, drums, and other musical approaches. It'll be a wonderful contemplative session in the White Rocks Amphitheater. I went up yesterday to check, and it is a little bit of a tough walk to get into it. So I would not go without a walking stick, and I wouldn't go by myself, and I probably wouldn't stay till it's fully dark. It's supposed to go till 9 o'clock. It's not the kind of trail you want to walk in the dark, at least for people of my age. I think Rick and Anna will go and represent us at least, and Marina is going to go. I may go, but I'm certainly not going to stay till dark. So, but the Drum Circle of St. George does do monthly drum circles. I think they're weekly actually, up at Quail Park Reservoir. So that's much easier to get to, and we'll keep you advised in that. So these are just some samples. If people are interested, we would appreciate, drop us a note. My name and information is on this handout. Let me know if you're interested so we can gauge what we want to concentrate on going forward. So we wanted to be responsive to the survey, and this is the first stage. So here we are. Thank you.
Very much, Tim. So, and filling in a needed part of our community. So thank you. Do this. So we normally do the Flames of Faith right now, and I decided some silence would be nice. So we're going to do a little meditation, and if you've never done it before, it's okay. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open, and the main way I got started was somebody told me to simply follow my breath. So as you breathe in, just follow your breath in, and do it at your own comfortable pace, excuse me. And we're going to do this for a few minutes. And because it's Mother's Day, I thought while we're breathing and we're centering and we're releasing all forms of stress and fear and lack and all those things that we know are not true nature, let us recall motherly thoughts. As you follow your breath, breathe in peace. As you follow your breath, align with joy. On your next breath, breathe in love and exhale all the barriers within you to love. Breathe in perfect health. Breathe in divine clarity. Breathe in compassion. Breathe in gratitude. There is only one.
I breathe in, I breathe out, I take in, I give out, I let go, I let go, I release, and I know. I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, and I know. No need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know. Now I think we're going to get Sue back up to offer our reading and our invocation.
Thank you. That was a beautiful way to start. Happy Mother's Day to the mothering spirit within all of us. Jafon Seeley, who many of us love here and knew as he was a guest speaker for us quite a while, he wrote in the daily guides for April, "Outside, the barren trees sway with the frigid winter wind, patiently waiting for the dawn of warmer days." It's going to warm today. As these trees quietly move, deep within them in the quantum realm is an infinite arrangement of leaves waiting for their time to unfold. These leaves remain dormant until the proper conditions arise. When those conditions present themselves, one of the infinite possibilities emerges and becomes real. Our dreams and gifts are similar. In the quantum realm of possibilities for our individual lives lie infinite possibilities and gifts waiting to emerge. These gifts and dreams remain in quiet stillness, dormant until we give them the proper conditions to emerge. For us, these proper conditions have less to do with the external world and more to do with the world we've created within. You have the power to create the proper environment of peace, faith, belief, love, and empowerment for the greatest you to emerge. And the world awaits your gifts. I add, one important key to creation is to be aware if there is any doubt blocking the path to manifestation. Affirm with me, I tend to my inner world. Remove all doubt, and my gifts, abilities, and purpose on this earth emerge. Namaste. Join with me in affirmative prayer. As I speak in the first person in the I recognize that we are all one and that we join together in this sacred moment of prayer. I recognize the presence, the feeling, the energy of joy, peace, gratitude, beauty in this world, beauty in each other, and in ourselves. And I recognize that that is spirit. That is what defines God. And that part of God that is very similar, that is a mirror to these qualities, lie within each one of us, within each creation that the Creator has manifested through love. For God so loved the world that he gave life. He, she gave beauty in this earth and in the universe. And I am grateful today for the beauty that we find together here that we picture in our minds as I speak, as I join us together in this philosophy of love, of appreciation, of positive thinking. I'm grateful for today, for the honor of mothers, and for the honoring of the mothering spirit, the nurturing spirit that lies within each of us, given by the divine feminine spirit of God. I am grateful for those that are here today to participate, to join with us, and I'm grateful for our minister and the words that will come through revelation and inspiration. I am grateful for our belief system that we are each able to receive through our own connection those things that Spirit wants us to know and hear and the help to do in our lives. I'm grateful for the efforts of each person to make this such a beautiful service this Sunday. I know that Spirit guides and directs the things that are progressing. I know that CSL St. George brings light to our community, and that we together join with those who are ready to join us here and to help CSL thrive and be a great force for good. Knowing these things, as I release them to the law, they manifest, and I know it is, and together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Sue. So one thing we don't ever forget, you, and me, we're all blessings to this world. We can sing this song together. You are the hands, you are the hands, you are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of Spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of Spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of Spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of Spirit on earth, and all we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. A blessing to the world.
Again, thank you, Alan. That was a great step in. We kind of just created that meditation thing today, so we did that well, and I hope you enjoyed that. So, in case you forgot, this month, can you hear me? That's okay? All right. That way maybe I don't have to hold it. Yeah, I know, but make sure they can hear us online. There you go. A little better. All right. Excuse me. The theme of the month is divine doubt. And last week, Bill talked about that self-doubt that we all carry in this human experience. And this week, we're going to take a more global picture of doubt. And when I first thought of doubt, as ministers, the way that our talks become authentic is when obviously we can use our real experience. And so, for those of you who don't remember, I was raised Roman Catholic. And as soon as I heard doubt, what popped into my head was doubting Thomas. Now, in case you're not of the Bible, Thomas was an apostle of Jesus. And so that means that he followed him around and he practiced his teachings with the other disciples. And there was at one point where the story in the Bible goes that Jesus had been crucified and died on the cross, as the story is in the Bible. And he was risen, the resurrection. We talked about that a couple months ago and what that means metaphysically. And so in the story, though, Thomas is walking about, and his friends come up to him, and they're like, Thomas, guess who we saw? You'll never believe it. And of course, it was Jesus. He had risen from the dead. And what's his response? What, are you crazy? I saw him die on that cross. And so, thus, the doubting Thomas. And at some point, he literally says, I won't believe you. And even though multiple people came and said they saw and walked with him and that Jesus was walking with them, he said, I won't believe it until I can touch the wounds in his hands. Right? So that's a pretty harsh statement, right? So he was firm in the sense that, no, this could not be. That's doubt. And as a Catholic, I always disliked stories that made people villains. And that's kind of how it was. Thomas gets a bad rap because here he is, gave up his old life for this new life, and here he is being the example of how not to be, which is what we were taught. And so just pause for a moment on that story. I mean, think about many times in our lives when people tell us things, and we're just, no, there's no way that's going to happen. And we make it a statement of fact, even though we really don't have any real life facts. And then sometimes it's actually, no, that's really what it is. Okay? And it happens in many ways. Sometimes they're very quick turnarounds. For me, the death of my best friend, I had just talked to him that weekend, and he went home on Monday after a successful surgery. And Thursday, pulling into my garage, I got a text that he had passed away. And I was like, well, there's no way he passed away. And because the text said that he passed away on Saturday. And I'm like, well, unless I was talking to a dead man, he was alive Sunday, as a matter of fact, too. And he texted me on Monday. So I was like, they must have had the wrong person because there's many people actually with his name. And yet, I went to his Facebook page, and there was the reality for me. So that was a quick turnaround and one that I wasn't necessarily hoping to see. But how many times is it? Sometimes it takes a little longer, and we're just stuck in that doubt. That doubt creeps in also. We talk a lot about manifestation, and we talk about alignment with truth. And sometimes, the old saying is, I'll believe it when I see it. And then spiritually we say, no. What's the saying? You'll see it when you believe it. And even that sometimes, depending on how that's said, casts a little shame almost. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't believe it then. And I want to work through that today using this story with doubting Thomas. And metaphysically, we're going to take a look at that. What does that mean? Then, in the sense of this story, you can read it any way you choose. You can read it literally, or we can look for a greater spiritual meaning behind that. And the first thing I want to recommend we look at as Thomas really just being honest. He's an example of pure honesty, of being the human nature that we are. That, I mean, come on, how many people would admit that, well, I believed he was alive, even though, you've never seen it in the history of the world. It was, and maybe you did see him do a couple miracles, but you're like, but rising from the dead, how could that be? And so, again, staying in the story, what is this doubt? We're seeking congruence with what we think we know and another reality. Now, spiritually speaking, even something as general as saying, well, there is only one God and you are of it, you are a divine center point of divine awareness. We say that all the time, but are we realizing it? Are we doubting it? He was honest with himself. He just came out and said, yeah, I don't believe it. You know, maybe when I can poke him, right, hold his hand, maybe then I'll believe it. And so he was doing nothing wrong other than being human and really being of integrity. And that's something that makes, I think, a really important point. On top of that, he shows that his doubt can be a doorway. In other words, that doubt kind of shows us where we're at on that spiritual journey. And that doubt will shift depending upon our individual experience. So there are things that we are absolutely grounded in and we embody to the highest level. And there are things that maybe we're a little, I will say, wishy-washy on. And we're just not there yet. And I want to make sure you're aware that that's perfectly okay and acceptable. No shame required. So the second part that came to me was, realistically, he stated his truth, but then he didn't leave. He didn't run away, call everybody fools. He kept walking with them. And to me, what that means is there was a part of him that was like, well, it would be pretty cool if I could see him again. And so he kept walking. He did show his faith in that, even though he's saying, well, in this moment, I'm saying no way, no how. But let's keep walking. Tell me your stories. And he began to open his mind and allow that possibility in. Right? Because there's a time when he walked and not everybody noticed Jesus because they weren't of that belief system. Like there's a story I remember being taught about the Native Americans, and when the European ships came in, they had never seen ships that size. And so they could not physically see them and adjust to them, but the chiefs kept recognizing that there were really big waves that were coming in that were unusual. And so once they realized something new had to be upon them, that's when they were able to physically see them. Excuse me. So there's doubt, and yet many people will say, well, doubt, the opposite of that is faith. And I disagree. I think the opposite of doubt is clarity. When we're clear on things, it's easier to have that faith. And until we can be clear and we recognize that that is an inside-out job, right? We have to be clear on the inside, right? Because we won't believe it. You know, and it can be trickery. And that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're on the spiritual path that you and I are living. Okay? We're going to come upon things over and over again. We talk about, if you've never heard about, the spiral way of consciousness, meaning if I'm down here at the bottom of the spiral, I experience something. And then as I'm going and experience more, I'm growing, my awareness is growing, my knowledge base is growing, my truth is growing. And now all of a sudden I come across the same thing, but I experience it in a completely different way. And maybe not it's always completely different, but it's new in some ways. Have you ever had that experience where you heard something and all of a sudden, I didn't get that before? That's been my whole year since January. I can't tell you, like even my favorite story example of spirituality using the old school projector and the light and casting the image on and all that. I listened to somebody tell that. While I'm listening to him tell us, it was YouTube videos, I'm like, I already know this story. Like, it's not like a surprise ending. And yet, it was the way he said it that just, there's something in me that just anchored deeper into that and embodied that. And we're doing this all the time. And doubt is going to be a natural byproduct of that. So again, he gets to the point where he's walking along and he insists on touching the wounds. And metaphysically, excuse me, I think that's profound. Because what he's kind of not doing, in a sense, is not just going with the flow of the crowd and spiritually bypassing and go, oh, yes, absolutely, I'm sure. Because then he's not being of integrity. And he will not receive the same experience as if he was being open and true and honest within himself. Remember, Ernest Holmes tells us, the only God that we can receive is the one that we can embody. And we're all at different levels on that. And that is okay. That is perfect, in fact. Because without somebody of lesser knowledge, I don't get anybody to teach. And without somebody of higher knowledge, I don't learn anything new. And so that's all part of the ever-flowing nature of spirit itself. We are all that. We are the awareness. We are collectively divine awareness through this center point of being you. Take that in for a minute, because I've heard that 1,000 times, and yet all of a sudden lately, I just keep getting that at a different level. I even heard a different idea of the I am that I am while I was preparing for this, and it was like the idea of the I am, which is the great and one and whole I am, that I am, and the second I am is the human nature, the individualized nature of the I am. Am I making sense? Lock that in. So truly, you are not separate. And yet, there's a lot of things we say. We talk about spirit. Well, am I spirit? Spirit, me. Separate. Two. Duality. But it's not there. We're just kind of trying to do the best we can with understanding who we are and what the heck we're doing here. And how can I live the best life possible? That's why we're here, yes? Community is great, but if it's not working for me, if it's not helping me be a better person, helping me experience a better reality, oh, thank you, then we're probably going to move on from it. Right? If you're listening to a certain kind of music and it's just not doing it for you, you're going to move on from it. And that's okay. That's why we welcome all paths, because truly there's only one note being played, and we're all separate frequencies of that note. And so was Thomas. And so for him, where he was at that moment was he needed physical evidence. And we will say, well, that's not faith. And you know what? Maybe he didn't have that faith in that moment, but he wasn't willing to fake it. He wasn't going to lie. Have you ever had that experience where you're in a group and people are like, oh, you saw that, right? You saw that, whether it's a sporting event or a movie, and you're like, you don't want to be the odd person out. Oh, yeah. And then, unfortunately, if they kind of nail you on a specific, you kind of got to go, oh, well, I watched like the highlights. I didn't see the whole game. And then you start trying to backtrack and just be like, no, I didn't see the game. You know, oh, that happened. Oh, really? Did that really happen? No. And part of the other reason is because we know we experience life differently. Let's say we go see, I don't even know what movie's out, whatever, the new movie out. And I ask Barb, what'd you think, Barb? She's like, oh, my God, best movie ever, blah, 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 blah. Gives me all the reasons. And later I was like, Alan, Barb saw that movie, saw it, it was great. He's like, that movie? No, I wouldn't even rent that one. Right? So, of course, you know, it's okay to doubt because there's people in our lives we probably should doubt and not take their words for it. And there's other ones, and we have to be careful as well of who we accept them as truth. Like, you know, the minor deities, the MDs, they got the white lab coats. They must know what they're talking about. Oh, absolutely. Why would I doubt that? No examples there. Come on. So, one of the playful ways through this process of grieving is I realized too, is that doubt is also a tool. And we can use doubt until we're ready to accept a higher truth. Think about that for a minute. This also popped up because Trump and the government released more information on UFOs and alien life and so forth. So my thought was, okay, so let's say a UFO, a real UFO, not government-made or some human-made, but parks itself where everybody can see it. Do you know how many beliefs we have would be ripped up at the core to realize not only is there life out there, but what if they are, oh my gosh, actually more intelligent than we are? Could that actually be? Can beings be more intelligent than humans? And maybe they come here telling us, I don't know, a different truth. Ooh. That'll get people going and triggered. And I'm not just talking in our country, in the world. So, maybe I can't take this in all at once. I know this spiritual pathway I took in chunks. And there were some things when I just kind of sounds good, and then I ran back and almost pretended I didn't hear that. When Esther and Abraham said they called Jesus a divine teacher and a master teacher. Now, I was still in Catholicism at the time, and I was like, oh, he's the Son of God. How could you just call him a teacher? But there's a part of me that was like, all right, I was going to shut it off, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to hear this. Because truthfully, Catholicism wasn't really quite doing it for me anymore. So she wasn't being judgmental. That was interesting. I've never heard somebody talk differently about Jesus and not be judgmental. And usually the people that even believed in Jesus were awful judgmental. So doubt is a tool. It's a temperature. It's a gauge of where you're at. And no one says you, just because you doubt, then you have to go, well, yes, eventually I'm going to believe that, because maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's not for you. So really what Jesus did so Jesus finally meets Thomas, dun, 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 climax of the story. And he says, lovingly, non-judgmentally, Thomas, would you like to touch my wounds? Talk about unconditional love. Not how could you? You were with me for how long? You watched me heal the leper. What's the matter with you? None of that. And so I believe Jesus is the example of truth, that truth meets us where we are. So again, that allows us to release any shame, any guilt from not being enough in any way, shape, or form for things that we have done that are out of alignment with who we want to be. And in that moment, bless the awareness that you realize you were out of alignment, because that means you're better than you used to be. So I like this, and I wanted to share this with you because it really kind of turns a villain in one story into kind of somewhat of a hero in another, and opens the door. He shows the way for us to be ourselves and be real, and just say, well, you know what, I'm not there yet. I don't like meditation. I can't sit still. I said that for years. Does it really work? Oh, you'll have no, I love it. And when I sat for the first few times, I was like, I could not sit still to save my life. I was tapping away, blah, 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 and then my thoughts are going because, they told me to stop thinking initially, which I'm thinking like, I don't even know if I do that when I die. So stop thoughts. And then the joke for me was, don't ask me how, it's a Joe thing, but I would meditate and, I try to stay unattached. And somehow, it's embarrassing to say, but I always ended up thinking about tomato soup. Now, at the time, I didn't even like tomato soup. And I would sit there and go, why am I thinking? Now I'm off on a whole tangent of how I even got to thinking about tomato soup. It's okay, right? And the reason I tell you that was I doubted that I could be a meditator and I could calm down. But with practice, but with discipline, I did. And it now benefits me. So again, doubt, it can be a doorway, it could be a tool, and I do have some slides to share. We're going the right way, yeah. So, wanted to reframe this as how doubt could be sacred. So doubt is not something to overcome, it's something to listen to. Okay, good. It reveals where belief is not yet embodied. It points to areas calling for deeper realization. So again, when I say we're in doubt, it doesn't mean that what we're doubting is always true. In fact, it may be harmful for you. And that's just as keen awareness as something being affirming your life. It keeps spirituality honest and grounded. Again, we're not being dishonest. We're keeping the energy of integrity, of truth. And I keep looking over there because I forget the cameras or the TV's gone. And it prevents shallow or performative faith, meaning just kind of, showing up. And my example of this is blessing everybody in the church and then on the way out screaming at them in the parking lot when they cut you off, right? That's performative faith. We're talking about being ready when you're ready to embody a greater knowing of you at your best level. And lastly, just to encourage some experience, there we go. Borrowed belief will always be fragile. What does that mean? It's great to listen to somebody else's truth, what somebody else knows, even if they know it for you. Sometimes that can be valuable. But you still have to get to the point to where you know it as truth for you. Love is great, but if I don't have love in my heart, you can talk to me all day long about it. I have to do the work. We have to do the work. And that's what this community does together very, very well. Truth becomes power only when experienced. So again, that's meaning that we can't just hold it. We're not here to hold everything in consciousness only. We're here to act it out in the world of form with each other. There we go. And you're allowed to question until you know, one way or the other, if it is happening for you and your highest good. Yes? Are there any doubters out there? Raise your hand if you're a doubter. Oh, shame. Just kidding. All right, so walk in that. It's okay. Ask the questions. And then you make your own perfect choice. There's a lot of times when I said no at first, and then I kind of, I realized I was kind of protecting this other thing called an identity that I thought I actually was. And when I learned to let that identity go, I made a lot of progress, especially in meditation. It wasn't until then that I was in my 30s when I began meditating, trying to meditate, seriously, that I realized I had this old high school image that I was this wacky kid, and that's who I was, and I was there to do anything and any time to make you laugh, and Joe's hilarious. And it was exhausting, and I realized I was carrying that identity with me. Of course I couldn't sit still. I had to entertain somebody. And then on the 4th day of that first week of meditating, I'm going to tell you I believe I was levitating. And here's why. Because I was Indian style, you call it, feet over feet. But I fell, like I dropped and hit the ground. And that's what shook me. I realized it had been 15 minutes, and I don't know where I was. I was like, oh, I can do this. I can relax. And that's when that whole, I don't have to be this wacky, crazy guy anymore. It's okay to be relaxed. It's okay to be you. Just be the unique you that you came here to be. All right, we have an affirmation, as we always do. I'm going to ask you to stand up so we can practice it together. And I'm going to step aside so you can see it. We'll say it one time through, just with some general energy on the count of 3, 2, 1. I honor my questions as sacred steps towards truth. Now I'm going to ask you to take a breath and try to embody this if you want to. I can't force you to. 3, 2, 1. I honor my questions as sacred steps towards truth. And doubt is okay, and so it is. Have a seat. Oh, we got something more, though, Alan, so hold on a minute, my friend. In the event of Mother's Day, since I've been here, I like to hand out roses on Mother's Day. And when we're going to define mother as any divine feminine that has served in a motherly role. And it could be a male as well, so divine feminine. We are all masculine and feminine. Okay, I don't care what gender you were, I care, but we're all one. I don't want to get anybody triggered. I care, I love you as you are, but we are both and, okay? So, first of all, I'm going to just ask you to get quiet, and I have something that Dr. Reverend David Alexander wrote. He's of our Centers for Spiritual Living. He was in Atlanta. I think he just kind of moved over to Unity, if I remember correctly, for a little while, which is all under the umbrella of New Thought, so he's not a traitor in any way, shape, or form. So just let's go back into that meditative stance and just breathe and take in these words, if you will. We like to acknowledge the wide continuum of mothering. To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experience loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or runaways, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say such foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate you. To those who experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge your experience and offer it to the light. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we stand in possibility with you. To those who envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not meant to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have emptier nests in the next year, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who placed children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expecting and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we here walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint-of-hearted, and we have real warriors in our midst, and we want to honor you and remember you. So with that, we're going to hand out a rose to you. And I would ask for maybe some support. Rick, maybe, Anna, if you could help me. So, there might be a thorn, because I just grabbed one on the bottom. But, thank you. Maybe she's listening, but she gets the joy of going to an all-day volleyball tournament today. So I will see her later on this evening, honey. I love you. Okay, so let's close with a prayer, shall we? Let's take a nice, deep, collective breath and just feel the love. Be in the awareness of love. Just breathe. You are the awareness of all that is, but right now let's just be aware of divine, perfect, unconditional love. That is God. Awareness, spirit, presence, so many names. You are that. And we are having this collective experience of being that together. How perfect. How perfect. knowing that all comes from this one presence of love. I am just grateful for the way that it expresses and for this teaching that allows us to remember even the words of Yeshua and Buddha and Krishna. They've all said the same thing. You are God in expression. Receive that. Receive that. You are that worthy. You couldn't be anything else. For the wave is individualized, but it is still of the ocean. It never goes anywhere. You are love being expressed. And in this moment, we just are grateful for mothers and motherhood and the divine feminine showing up with compassion and love and nurturing. We are grateful for that presence within us and in the world, spreading. It brings us peace, for peace is here. It acknowledges the peace. It makes the peace known. It releases all doubt that this world is of peace, is of love, expressing in joy throughout all. No exceptions. This is a beautiful vision that we anchor in and affirm by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Alan. Oh, we got to do offering?
So it is. We'll do
Or
the
you have a song first.
Yeah.
Well, how about this today? It's pretty special, isn't it?
What's up here? Making everybody cough. That water's, oh, you got it, water.
So it's the Eddie Watkins song.
And I really feel it right now, but most of the time, sometimes I doubt it, but really I know all is well. So.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday's mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new, and don't it feel good to know all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. I can change my reality by changing my mind. I am loved, and so are you. Don't it feel good? What I do without you? All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. I am clothed in the Spirit, I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is, my soul is free from time. I am blessed and so are you. Hey, don't it feel good to know all is well and unfolding as it should? All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well,
going to make this brief. It is time, we just make a little time for offering. This is also a time, the envelopes on your chairs, they can be used to give, but also give us praise. If there's great things going on in your life because of your practicing the science of mind, because of this community, we would love to know. It makes our day and may make our whole year. And it's good for other people to know of your success as well. Or if you just need some prayer, that's a good place to put it on there. We can collect that, and as a prayer team, we meditate, contemplate, and pray on that, and knowing that the best and the highest is happening for you. So, in the meantime, especially if you're new, because we have some new people, our offering bowl is to my right, your left. I know many of you have already given online and so forth, and I thank you. We thank you for that as a community, because we get to do more and more and more as we grow. We do practice the law of giving and receiving. So next to the bowl are affirmation cards. As you give, please receive. Practice the affirmation. And again, even if you've already given online, go ahead and get yourself an affirmation card. There's ways to give behind me. You know the routine. Alan, play a little ditty for us. You may feel free to move about the cabin.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Thank you. So Spirit's telling me to do something different, so can't argue with Spirit. So we're going to do this collectively. Now, you may say, I don't know how to pray, Reverend Joe. I don't care. You're going to do your best to put a blessing on our blessing. And what we're grateful for is the ever-showing presence of the divine in prosperity that allows us to continue to do what we do and more each and every week. Yes? Yes. So, do it in your own way. I'm going to talk out loud. You can talk over me. We call this a chamber prayer. It can be incredibly powerful when you have a whole room full of people that have the similar intention. So, it may feel weird, but I'm listening to my beautiful instinct. So, let us pray. Begin. Knowing that there is one presence, and we are gratitude and grateful for that presence that shows up in, as, and through all things, especially money. And this divine money is an offering of the community for the community and beyond. We do wonderful, beautiful things with it. It is perfect in every way, expressing itself through the leadership and our community. We are grateful. And so it is. Look at that. And we all did it at the same time. It was amazing. Thank you, Charles, for that. Charles is our treasurer, by the way. Give him a round of applause. He is the man behind the green curtain, making it all work for us. All right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot our thing. Oh, well, we'll bypass that today. We're kind of way beyond that part. So I think now we're going to stand up, make a nice big circle, and sing our closing song. And thank you to you two for showing up today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Help yourself to refreshments, and don't forget our library friends. Thank you.